Well, hello everybody. We're here for what I hope is a close-up, regular old-fashioned close-up. It is Tuesday, May the 2nd. It's about 10:30 in the morning. And we are in the annex with Puddles, the mom cat. This is Puddles right here. And her 10 kittens. What? Yeah, so she had 5 kittens, of course, of her own. This is Bud, one of her kittens. And then yesterday we brought in 5 more little tiny kittens to see if she would take care of them. And so far she's decided that she will, which is super wonderful. In fact, as soon as they start meowing, she's going to run in there and try to take care of them right now. So I wanted to make sure we did a close-up so I could introduce you guys to them and tell you what's going on. Because I know otherwise we're not so good at getting the news out about what's happening here at the Academy. So let's start with, I guess, the story of what's going on. And we'll look at the kittens up close while I'm talking. And then I will get into specific introductions as well as I can. So what's happening is yesterday I got a call from our vet, Aristocats, and they said that someone had brought in 5 newborn kittens that were just a day or two old. They still have their umbilical cords on, and they called us because they thought, well, we might have a lactating mom that could nurse them, because that's always better than bottle feeding if you can do it. Everybody would prefer to have them nurse on a real cat. And if you can't, that's fine too, you know. But they were hoping that it would work out. And so I said, well, I don't know if it will work out, but we have 2 mom cats that are currently lactating. Excuse me. We have Puddles here, and we have Nibbles, who was actually in for her spay yesterday. So she's probably a little sensitive and may not want to actually do any nursing. Although DJ was telling me that Nibbles already was reacting to them on the TV when they started making noise. She started running around like she wanted to try to nurse them and take care of them. So there's a chance that later on they could meet Nibbles and possibly have 2 replacement moms. But for now, Puddles is taking care of things pretty well. Of course, Puddles' kittens are just about 4 weeks old, and they have all started eating regular food instead of nursing. So my hope is that we can get them even more on the regular food, and in the course of the next week, and then the little kittens, the smaller, newer kittens, will be able to do more nursing. That would be nice. That would be nice for everybody. But if it doesn't work out that way, that's fine too. What has happened so far is that they do all get in there to nurse, and we've made some efforts to take the bigger kittens away so the little kittens get every opportunity. But even with every opportunity, they still have been extremely excited to nurse from a bottle, which, we don't normally do. Excuse me. We normally do tube feedings. But one of the big reasons, there's a lot of reasons for them, and one of them is safety related. But another one is just that it's been very difficult for us to get kittens to take bottles. Usually if they nurse from their mom, then they won't take the bottle at all. And I say bottle, even though what I really mean is we put a nipple on a syringe and let them drink from that. And the reason I like that better than a bottle is it's easier to measure what's going on. And the way the vacuum works in a bottle, when they're nursing on the bottle, first off, the milk can just leak out of the end of the little fake nipple, and that can cause trouble when there's too much milk coming out, because it just comes out whether they're nursing or not. And then secondly, once they've nursed on the bottle for a little bit, it does create a vacuum inside, and it gets harder and harder for them to continue to nurse the further they go. And there's ways to adjust for that, but most of them would be like squeezing the bottle, and then it's real imprecise, and you don't know. Maybe again, you get into the trouble of maybe giving them too much, more than they can handle, which is the last thing that you want. So we find the syringe to be better for that because it's a consistent pressure the entire time that they basically just suck down the little plunger. And then it works out better. So when I say bottle feeding, I really do mean a nipple on a syringe, not a literal bottle, but it's the same idea. Hi, kittens. So that's what we've been doing for them. I've been coming in here, and they've been doing a good job with that. But if they stop taking that and they still need supplement, then we definitely will go straight to the tube for them. So we'll see. I have Bud over here, by the way. He's so desperate for attention. This is Bud, the boy from her class. I think he's going to end up being a long hair. I think you can see that already. We've talked about it, him maybe being a floof. And he's definitely the most social still, and just always wants to be around his people. Look at all that long fur. Oh, my goodness. So, so far, the older kittens have been so good to the little kittens. They've been sort of taking care of them, and especially Sprout is this one. Sprout has almost been like a second mom to them, where she comes and snuggles with them a lot, and they kind of dig around on her like they want a nurse, but haven't found any success there. And she just puts up with it. Last night, all the kittens were laying on her, and she was laying on them, and just a big old snuggle pile. So far, Sprout's been the best surrogate, like big sister to them. But all the kittens have been very good to them, and that's wonderful. So, let's see how many of the names. I brought a cheat sheet for the new kittens because I just learned their names myself. I have no idea. But even the older kittens, asking me to remember 10 kittens' names at once is a tough one. But we have 15 kittens in right now when you count Nibble's family that's still here and will be still for several weeks. So that's a lot of kittens, and that's a lot of names for me to try to remember, and I've never been very good at names in the first place. But here, we're going to do our best. So let's see. First off, let's do the older kittens, because you already saw Bud, the boy. And then we have, I did not bring a cheat sheet for the older kittens. I can't quite see the cheat sheet from here that we have for them. It's right there. See, it's the wrong angle. I can't. Wrong focus too. There we go. It's on top of that thing, and I can't see it. So we're going to just have to do our best, see what I can remember. So this is, of course, Brawly. Brawly, like as in umbrella. Brawly is obviously a girl. Torty, one of the older kittens. She's a super sweetheart, and she has really short fur. She's like the opposite of a long hair, where her fur is like uniquely short and fuzzy, much shorter and fuzzier, I think, than average. So that's super cute. It makes her fun to pet. And she's being so chill right now. Okay, so that's Brawly, and you already met Bud. And then we've got this one here, who is, this is Raindrop. I can tell it's Raindrop because of the face and the paws, which I've gone into in previous close-ups. So if you want a little more clue, you can check those out. But that's Raindrop, one of the older kittens. And then the other two older kittens, this is going to be, like I said earlier, this one's Sprout. Sprout wasn't actually quite latched on there, but still seems upset that I pulled her away. Sprout, you can tell because she's got a little bit of white on her paws. You see that? Makes it high. I know. Also because she is still the talkiest of the older group. She's the one that's always the one that's been shoutiest since the very first day, so I'm not surprised she's meowing at me. And then finally, we have, oh my goodness, names. See, I almost made it all the way through without doing this, and now Drizzle. Drizzle is the last one. I got it. Drizzle, you can tell because she's got those big black spots next to her nose. They all have little black spots there, but hers are super defined. Plus, she's the darkest of the tabbies, so that's Drizzle. Drizzle's also been the most insistent on continuing to nurse on Mom, regardless of anything that's going on, which is cute. It's very cute. Okay, hi, you're yelling. I know. Come over here and yell, okay? So, that's the older crowd that you guys already all knew. Now we can try to introduce the younger crowd, and I'm definitely going to have to use the little cheat sheet I brought for that, which is just a printout from our Discord, by the way. I don't have an official cheat sheet yet, but excuse me. I hope that's not too annoying. Let's go down the names as best we can in order. And this is just the order we put them on the weight sheet, so it does not an order that means anything in this case. This is kitten number 1, and you can see kitten number 1 has this white spot in the back with kind of a U or horseshoe shape. I've been calling it an omega shape if you turn it the other way. Kind of looks like an omega, maybe. Or if you look at her, it, I'm not actually saying or determining if they're boys or girls yet. If you look at her from straight on top with the tail up, it looks like a scorpion with the 2 big claws in front and a long tail. Doesn't it look like a scorpion there? Maybe a little bit. So that's kitten number 1. Kittens number 1's name is Wellingtons. Wellingtons with an S, or we might say wellies, and that is another Britishism, like brawly, that means rubber boots, or galoshes as we might call them here in the United States. So that's Wellingtons. The S is part of the name, I'm told, by DJ. So little Wellingtons, the one that's got the little circle on his or her back. That's all I'm going to say for now. And you can see a lot of different things in there. But yeah, like I said, I tend to see an omega, or when you can see the whole tail and it's right from on top, it does kind of look like a scorpion with 2 big claws out in front. Or a crab or something. Anyway. Okay, so that's Wellington's, number 1. Then number 2 is the one that's got the most spotty pattern. Okay, that's this one. You can see lots of spots on this one, a lot of white. You might say that's the one with the most white. And it's all gray spots. Somebody's making a real funny noise in there. Oh, by the way, I should mention, so none of them have their eyes open yet, not even close. So if you see it and you think, oh, their eyes are open, no, that's just their eyeshadow. And you also will notice they all still have their umbilical cords, which is how we know that they're only a few days old. Those usually fall off after the first few days. So this is number 2, and number 2 is named Daffodils. Again, with the plural, the S is part of the name, Daffodils. I'm sure I will end up calling him or her Daffy quite a bit, because Daffodils is a lot to say, just like Wellingtons is probably going to be Wellies, because Wellingtons is a lot to say. But number 2, that's little Daffodils, and again, it's the one you can tell by the fact that it's got the most white in its pattern, very broken up little gray spots.